They told you healing is slow. They told you it happens only through medicine. They told you your body is just flesh, bones, and a set of predictable chemical reactions. But there's another layer to the story. One that science is only beginning to acknowledge. One that has the potential to change everything you thought you knew about the human body and how it heals. Welcome to a journey through quantum healing, where biology, consciousness, and the deep mysteries of the universe collide in ways that defy conventional logic but align perfectly with the most cutting-edge theories in quantum physics. In this video, you're going to discover a reality that's been hidden behind the rigid walls of traditional medicine. A reality where perception plays a direct role in physiology, where thought influences matter, and where the body isn't just a passive object, it's a living, intelligent field of vibrating energy, constantly responding to how you think, feel, and observe. You'll come to understand that healing isn't something that happens to you. It's something you can activate. The methods aren't found in external treatments alone. They're encoded within your consciousness, your awareness, your beliefs, your attention. This isn't just theory. Quantum mechanics, the foundation of modern physics, has shown us that atoms, the building blocks of your body, behave differently when observed. The simple act of paying attention changes the outcome. Now, consider this. If observing a subatomic particle can alter its behavior, what happens when you observe your body, your health, your cells with new intention? It's not just about science, it's about consciousness, frequency, and energy. It's about accessing a level of reality that exists beneath the surface, where everything is vibration, where everything is connected, and where time, space, and distance lose their meaning. Throughout this video, we're going far beyond positive thinking or generic mind-body philosophy. You'll learn how the placebo effect is not a fluke. It's proof of your body's capacity to respond to belief as if it were biology. You'll hear about the observer effect, not as a physics curiosity, but as a potential key to conscious healing. And you'll explore the energetic anatomy, the real blueprint your body operates from. This is a path that doesn't reject modern science. It expands it. We're connecting dots between quantum theory and self-healing. You'll gain practical insights that will shift how you see your own biology. And more importantly, you'll begin to grasp that healing isn't always something to wait for. It's something you can choose to unlock. Right now, let's explore the first key, the hidden quantum code behind your health. Could the very laws that govern atoms and waves also govern your immune system, your recovery time, and even the persistence of illness? This question isn't just provocative. It opens the gateway to understanding a whole new paradigm of healing. To grasp this, we need to first break free from the classical view of the human body. For centuries, we've been taught to see the body like a machine, composed of parts, governed by biochemistry, and fixable only through external intervention. But the discoveries of quantum mechanics completely dismantle that mechanical worldview. At the quantum level, reality behaves in ways that defy the logic of the everyday world. Electrons exist in multiple states at once, what physicists call superposition. They don't settle into a single position until they're observed. This isn't a metaphor. It's a scientifically verified principle. So how does this relate to healing? Superposition suggests that multiple potential outcomes, health or illness, balance or imbalance, exist simultaneously. Until a dominant observation or influence collapses those possibilities into one, your body might be more fluid than fixed. It's not locked into one inevitable health condition. It responds to influence, attention, frequency. Next is quantum entanglement, the phenomenon where two particles become linked so that a change in one instantly affects the other, no matter how far apart they are. Now apply that to the human system. Could cells communicate in ways that transcend physical proximity? Could the mind and body be in a form of constant energetic entanglement, where mental shifts can immediately echo through the body? Then there's non-locality, the idea that information or influence isn't restricted by time or space. This breaks every rule of conventional healing timelines. It implies that influence, such as intention or belief, doesn't have to follow a linear path. The effect can be immediate. Distance doesn't matter. Time doesn't matter. The only thing that determines outcome is coherence, the vibrational match between thought, energy, and biology. Now step back. In traditional medicine, we treat symptoms after they appear. In the quantum view, symptoms may be downstream effects of disrupted energetic fields or incoherent patterns in consciousness. This means the true source of illness or healing could originate in invisible realms. That brings us to a crucial realization. Healing isn't only biochemical. It's informational. And information at the quantum level is everything. A thought is information. An emotion is information. Belief systems, memories, even trauma, all encoded information that the body responds to moment by moment. Quantum biology is beginning to affirm this. Researchers have found that electrons in cells engage in quantum tunneling, a phenomenon where particles pass through barriers that should be impenetrable. This defies classic rules of biology and suggests that even processes like enzyme reactions and DNA expression could be governed by quantum events. If your body responds to information at the level of particles and waves, then your consciousness isn't just along for the ride. It's a co-author of your biological experience. Here's where the old and the new collide. The Newtonian model says you are your genes. The quantum model suggests your awareness influences how those genes express. The Newtonian model says cells are machines. The quantum model reveals that cells are fields, responsive, dynamic, and intelligent. And here's the deeper implication: if particles respond to being watched, if they shift based on consciousness, and if your body is made of those same particles, then your health is not just something to treat. It's something to consciously shape. This doesn't mean ignoring medicine or rejecting biology. It means activating new layers of it. It means seeing yourself not as a passive recipient of treatment, but as a field of possibility, one where healing is not imposed from the outside, but awakened from within. You are not a machine. You are a quantum being. Your biology is not fixed, it's fluid. Your health is not predetermined, it's responsive. And the future of healing isn't locked in a lab. It's encoded in consciousness. Let's move forward to uncover the energetic architecture of the body, where frequency takes form and where healing truly begins. Could it be that the core design of your body isn't just tissue and blood, but vibration? The traditional view of biology limits the human system to what can be dissected, measured, and treated physically. But quantum physics, and now a growing body of integrative science, points to a more fundamental truth. The human body is a dynamic field of energy in constant motion, communication, and recalibration. Every organ, every cell, every strand of DNA emits frequency. This isn't poetic, it's measurable. With sensitive instruments like EEGs and ECGs, we already track the electrical activity of the brain and the heart. But those are just the obvious layers. The deeper energetic systems, what ancient traditions called meridians and chakras, are now being recognized not as mystical metaphors, but as real networks of information flow. Your body doesn't just respond to chemicals. It responds to frequency. It's not just structured by DNA. It's structured by energy patterns that determine how that DNA is expressed. Let's go back to the foundation. In quantum terms, matter is not truly solid. Everything that appears to be physical is, at its core, empty space filled with vibrating energy. This includes you. Your cells, when magnified beyond atomic structure, dissolve into pure vibration. That vibration carries data about your environment, your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs. So when we talk about health, we're not just referring to physical organs or visible symptoms. We're referring to the coherence of these vibrations. Coherence means that frequencies are harmonized, flowing in synchrony, in rhythm. Incoherence, on the other hand, means disrupted frequencies, which can eventually manifest as dysfunction in the physical body. Now consider this. Ancient Chinese medicine spoke of energy flowing through meridians. Indian Ayurveda mapped energy centers called chakras. Indigenous traditions described the body as light or spirit-infused. All these frameworks were based on the recognition that the human system is not solely physical. They weren't just philosophical, they were practical healing systems built around energy flow. Today, science is catching up. Technologies like biofield imaging, heart rate variability monitoring, and electromagnetic frequency analysis are confirming what was once dismissed, that the body emits a complex, structured field. The biofield is now studied as the organizing force behind cellular activity. It's like a blueprint. When the biofield is clear and balanced, cells communicate effectively. When the biofield is distorted, communication breaks down, and illness can follow. Think of the biofield as the energetic architecture of your body. Just as a building follows a blueprint, your body follows energy instructions. These instructions are constantly updating based on your internal and external environment. So how do you influence that energy? One way is through the emotional frequency spectrum. Emotions like gratitude, love, and joy produce high-frequency states. They increase coherence in the heart, brain, and nervous system. Emotions like fear, anger, and resentment lower vibrational coherence, creating stress signals that can interrupt biological repair. Then there's conscious focus, the energy of your attention. When you place focused awareness on a part of your body, you're sending energy there. The body responds. Healing accelerates. This isn't mystical, it's measurable. Studies using functional MRI and thermographic scanning show changes in blood flow, neural activity, and immune response when subjects focus attention on specific areas of the body. Another key influence is breath. Breath is the bridge between the conscious and the subconscious, the physical and the energetic. Practices like coherent breathing, pranayama, and breath-focused meditation can restore rhythmic harmony to the nervous system and align your internal frequencies. This alignment creates optimal conditions for healing. Let's talk about tools. One of the most fascinating developments is HeartMath, a system that measures and trains heart-brain coherence. It shows that when the heart's rhythm becomes coherent, through emotional states like appreciation or calm, the brain follows. Hormonal balance improves. Inflammatory markers drop. Regeneration speeds up. This isn't anecdotal. It's based on hard data. Similarly, electroencephalograms, EEGs, reveal that different brainwave states affect healing potential. For example, alpha and theta states achieved during deep meditation can activate parasympathetic dominance, the state in which the body naturally repairs itself. Beyond diagnostics, there's energy medicine, a field that includes modalities like Reiki, biofield tuning, scalar wave therapy, and frequency-specific microcurrent. These aren't placebos. They work by introducing targeted frequencies to help correct distortions in the body's energetic blueprint. But perhaps the most potent energy tool is your awareness. You direct your energy through what you focus on, what you believe, and what you emotionally commit to. Your thoughts aren't just private events, they're energetic broadcasts. Every thought carries a frequency. Sustained thoughts create patterns. Those patterns shape the biofield, and the biofield shapes biology. So the real question isn't do you affect your energy, but how consciously are you doing it? If your body is energy, then health isn't just about getting rid of symptoms. It's about restoring balance to the field that governs them. It's about tuning your vibration so that your cells, your systems, and your consciousness operate in synchrony. This is the essence of quantum healing. Not controlling the body, but understanding it as a responsive, intelligent, vibrational system. Once you begin to interact with your body as energy, when you see it as a dynamic field rather than a static object, your relationship to healing changes forever. The body isn't broken. It's communicating. Symptoms aren't malfunctions. They're feedback signals from the field, and healing isn't about applying force. It's about restoring frequency. Next, we'll explore one of the most radical ideas to emerge from quantum physics, the observer effect, and how your beliefs may be influencing your biology more directly than you ever realized. Look at your hand right now. Every cell in it, every atom, exists in a state of constant potential. But the reality you're experiencing at this very moment is not the only version that could have materialized. It's simply the one that has stabilized under your observation. This is not philosophy. It's physics. In quantum mechanics, the observer effect refers to a phenomenon where the act of observation influences the state of what is being observed. Until it's observed, a quantum particle doesn't exist in a single place. It exists in a range of possible positions. The instant it's measured, it collapses into one of those possibilities. Now apply this to the human body. Your cells are made of those same particles. Your DNA, your organs, your immune system, They're all part of the same quantum landscape, which means they, too, are subject to the influence of observation. The key question becomes, what are you observing, and how are you observing it? Because every time you mentally engage with your body, through thoughts, emotions, expectations, you're influencing its state. Not metaphorically, literally. Let's make this real. Your beliefs act as filters for perception. When you believe you're fragile, your body adapts to that narrative. When you believe you're resilient, your biology attempts to match that vibration. This is not just mind over matter, it's mind shaping matter through observation. This is why the placebo effect remains one of the most underappreciated keys in medicine. A sugar pill doesn't cure disease, but belief in that pill can activate the same biological pathways as actual medication. This has been proven in double-blind trials across nearly every category of illness, from chronic pain to depression to even Parkinson's disease. It's not the pill, it's the observer, the expectation, the mental and emotional focus that alters the chemical reality of the body. Here's where it gets even more profound. Studies in epigenetics show that gene expression, the turning on or off of your DNA, can be influenced by thoughts, emotions, and even visualization. You're not locked into your genes. Your environment and your perception of that environment shapes how your genes function. So when you focus on illness with fear, you're reinforcing the energetic signal that illness is the dominant reality. When you focus on healing with certainty, you send instructions to your body to initiate that process. This isn't wishful thinking. It's alignment of attention with biological output. And attention is not neutral. It's creative. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you imagine yourself running, the same motor neurons fire as when you physically run. When you visualize health, cells begin to respond as if that health is already happening. This is the practical application of the observer effect in healing. Train the mind to consistently observe health, and the body begins to respond as if it were already healed. But there's a catch. The unconscious mind is always observing, even when the conscious mind isn't. This means that deep, unspoken beliefs about your worth, your safety, your identity can also become dominant observers. If your conscious mind affirms healing, but your unconscious mind expects suffering, the body receives mixed signals. The field becomes incoherent. Healing slows. That's why clarity and emotional alignment are critical. It's not just what you say or think. It's what you believe at the deepest level, because that belief acts as the observer. So how do you shift it? Start with awareness. Become aware of your automatic thoughts about your body. Are they empowering, or are they filled with doubt, fear, or resignation? Then bring in focus. Train your attention to rest on what's working, not as blind optimism, but as a conscious redirection of energy. Next, activate emotional resonance. Don't just think health. Feel it. Emotion is the amplifier. When you feel the frequency of wellness, joy, gratitude, peace, you embed that signal into your cells. Finally, use intention with repetition. The more you observe a desired state, the more stable it becomes. Just like a quantum particle collapses into a defined position with repeated measurement, your biology begins to stabilize under repeated observation of health. This is not a passive process. It's not about waiting. It's about becoming the dominant observer in your own reality. Because if you don't direct your observation, someone else will, be it a diagnosis, a cultural belief, or a fear narrative inherited from your past. The observer effect teaches us that we are not separate from what we experience. We are co-creators of it. And nowhere is this more personal, more transformative than in the relationship between mind and body. The next time you look at yourself, don't just see a collection of parts. See a quantum system. Responsive, intelligent, and deeply influenced by the way you engage with it. Your cells are listening. Your DNA is watching. And your body is waiting for new instructions. Coming up next, we'll break through the illusion of linear time and discover how healing can happen across multiple timelines. Past, present, and future simultaneously. There's a belief that healing takes time. That recovery is linear. That the past is behind you, the future is ahead, and the only moment that truly matters is now. But quantum theory challenges that idea from the ground up. In the classical world, time is fixed. It moves forward in a straight line, cause precedes effect. But at the quantum level, particles don't seem to follow that rule. Events can appear to influence each other both forward and backward in time. This opens up a new model not just of physics but of healing. If time is not strictly linear, then healing is not strictly bound to the present. Your body may still be carrying signals from the past. But more importantly, it may also be capable of responding to states that haven't yet occurred, states that you haven't fully experienced, but can tune into now. This is not abstract theory, it's supported by real quantum experiments, like the delayed choice quantum eraser, which demonstrates that the present can alter how the past is interpreted on a quantum scale. Applied to healing, this means that consciousness isn't locked into a single narrative timeline. You are not a prisoner of your biological history. So let's ask the question. If the past can echo into the present, and the future can influence now, what does that mean for your healing journey? It means that trauma, injury, and illness are not just events to recover from. They are energetic patterns, frozen points in time, stored in your biofield, cellular memory, and subconscious mind. They persist not because they are unchangeable, but because they are being energetically reinforced, either by attention, belief, or emotional charge. This opens up a revolutionary insight. Healing does not have to follow a timeline, can transcend it. Let's break this down further. Spontaneous remission, when illness disappears without conventional explanation, defies linear medical models. It doesn't follow predictable steps. Something shifts instantly. Often, the shift is internal, a change in perception, belief, identity, or emotional state. In quantum terms, it's a sudden jump to a different energetic timeline. This isn't science fiction. This is timeline theory. The concept of parallel timelines suggests that every possibility already exists. There isn't just one version of your body, your health, or your story. There are infinite versions, each corresponding to different choices, emotions, beliefs, and frequencies. Right now, your consciousness is tuned to one particular version. But it doesn't mean other versions aren't available. This is where quantum shifting enters the picture. Quantum shifting is the intentional alignment of your energy with a different version of reality. It's not about escaping your current experience. It's about identifying the energetic frequency of a preferred outcome and consciously attuning to it. Here's how this works. Every possible version of your healed self already exists in the field of potential. It's not fiction. It's physics. Each version has its own vibration, its own emotional tone, thought patterns, and biological state. The question isn't whether it exists. The question is, are you matching it? When you maintain a vibration of fear, doubt, or resentment, you align with timelines where illness persists. When you shift into trust, gratitude, or clarity, you open resonance with versions of yourself where health is already realized. The key is emotional and mental coherence. Sustaining the energetic signature of a desired state is what allows the shift. You're not forcing healing, you're aligning with the version of you that already embodies it. This is where tools like timeline visualization and quantum journaling become more than just exercises. They're energetic tuning devices. When you close your eyes and mentally connect with a healed version of yourself, seeing, hearing, and feeling that version, you create a resonance bridge. The more frequently and vividly you do it, the stronger that bridge becomes. Over time, your biology begins to reflect that energetic identity. Now consider retrocausality, the idea that the present can affect the past. When applied to healing, this means you can energetically revisit a past trauma and shift how it's encoded in your field. You can bring new understanding, forgiveness, or clarity to that moment, not to change the event itself, but to release the frozen energy it holds. Many people report physical relief, emotional resolution, and behavioral change simply by engaging with past moments through a new energetic lens. You're not rewriting history. You're releasing resistance. You're not forcing change. You're unlocking timelines. Linear time would tell you that healing must take years. Quantum time says it can happen in a moment, when the right energy meets the right awareness. And this doesn't mean abandoning logic or medical care. It means augmenting them with a deeper understanding of how time and consciousness work together. It means realizing that healing doesn't come from time. It comes from presence, from choice, from the energetic pattern you choose to activate now. You are not your past. You are not your diagnosis. You are not limited by yesterday's story. In the quantum model, you're not even limited by today. You are a field of potential, capable of aligning with any outcome that already exists in the multidimensional fabric of possibility. And every thought, feeling, and observation is steering your experience toward one of those infinite timelines. So ask yourself, which version of your body are you choosing today? Which version are you tuning into? And are you observing through the lens of the past? Or through the signal of the self that is already healed? Next, we'll challenge the mechanical view of medicine and expose the limits of the model that says you are only your chemistry. There is much more to the story. You've been told the body is a machine. You've been taught that health is a physical equation, something that can be fixed with pills, surgery, and protocols. You've been conditioned to believe that your biology is passive, that it breaks down like a car engine, and that the only path to healing is external intervention. But this model, while useful in emergencies, is incomplete. It's built on Newtonian physics, an outdated framework that views the body as solid, separable, and reducible to parts. And here's the truth. It misses the most important element of healing: consciousness. The current medical system operates on materialism. If it can't be measured, it doesn't exist. If it can't be seen under a microscope, it isn't real. But you already know that's not true, because you've felt the impact of emotion. You've seen the effect of belief. You've witnessed the invisible forces, stress, trauma, joy, peace, that shape your health more than anything else. The body is not a car. It's not a machine. It's a living field of intelligence. So let's expose the limits of the mechanistic model. In the Newtonian view, illness is a mechanical failure. Doctors find the faulty part and try to fix it. But this model ignores the role of energy, vibration, and intention. It ignores the influence of the mind on biology. It separates you from your own healing capacity. The quantum view says the body is not a closed system. It's an open, dynamic, energetic interface, constantly receiving, processing, and responding to information from the mind, the environment, and the field of consciousness itself. In this model, illness is not just a malfunction. It's a message. It's a feedback signal from an intelligent system. And healing doesn't begin with a prescription. It begins with perception. Let's look at one of the most transformative breakthroughs in modern biology: epigenetics. Epigenetics reveals that your genes are not fixed. They are not your destiny. Your environment, especially your emotional and mental environment, affects how your genes express. This is critical. Thoughts become chemistry. Emotions become biology. Repeated belief becomes the architecture of your health. Now ask yourself, what beliefs are you running on? Are you operating from fear of illness or expectation of health? Are you stuck in a narrative of helplessness, or are you consciously constructing a new one? Because the mind is not a spectator in the healing process. It's a central player. Every emotion sends a biochemical message. Every thought shifts hormonal balance. Chronic stress, for example, isn't just an emotional experience. It's a chemical event that floods the body with cortisol, suppresses immune function, and disrupts healing. But here's the most powerful part. When you break free from that narrative, when you interrupt the loop of fear, stress, and self-doubt, you don't just change your thoughts. You change your biology. And that's where quantum coherence enters the picture. Coherence is the state where your heart, brain, and nervous system are in alignment. It's not just about feeling good. It's a measurable state where healing accelerates. Cells repair faster. Inflammation decreases. Immunity strengthens. The mechanistic model can't explain this, but the quantum model can, because coherence is frequency. It's harmony. It's the resonance of your internal systems syncing with a state of order rather than chaos. And that order doesn't come from medicine alone. It comes from the mind, from intention, from choosing the vibrational state that aligns with healing. Now let's talk about something even deeper: identity. In the traditional model, you are a patient, a recipient of care. a body to be fixed. In the quantum model, you are a creator, a conscious field that shapes its own reality. This shift from patient to participant is not symbolic. It's energetic. When you reclaim your role as a conscious being, you stop waiting for healing. You stop outsourcing your power. You begin to engage with your biology as a responsive system, one that mirrors your inner world. And that's not philosophy. That's observable in every field of integrative science. Let's look at a practical comparison. In standard medicine, depression is treated as a chemical imbalance. So you get a chemical solution. But research now shows that beliefs about depression, expectations of relief, perception of change, can influence outcomes as much as, if not more than, the medication itself. This is not a call to abandon medical tools. It's a call to expand them. Healing is not either or. It's both, and it's medicine and mindset. It's treatment and intention. It's biology and frequency. When you understand that your body listens to your consciousness, that cells organize around belief, that energy fields respond to focus, you are no longer limited to external solutions. You can begin working from the inside out. So break free from the old dogma. Let go of the idea that healing only happens slowly under supervision, through procedures. Start asking different questions. What energy am I holding? What story am I reinforcing? What vibration am I transmitting into my own cells? Because that is the space where real healing begins. Not in reaction, but in creation. Not as a mechanical fix, but as a conscious realignment. And once you stop seeing the body as a machine and start experiencing it as a responsive field, your entire approach to health transforms. From matter to mind. From external control to internal intelligence. From being fixed to becoming free. Next, we'll explore the vast energetic realm that surrounds all things, the field of all possibilities, and how it might hold the key to rapid, coherent, spontaneous healing. Every cell in your body operates within a field, not a metaphorical one, but an actual, scientifically acknowledged field that extends beyond the physical boundaries of your skin. It's a silent, dynamic matrix through which energy, information, and intention interact. It's been called many names over time: the zero-point field, the unified field, the quantum vacuum, or simply the field of all possibilities. Within this field, everything exists as potential until a signal activates it. Your body doesn't operate in isolation. It is entangled with a larger, surrounding energy field that holds patterns, data, and frequencies. In that field, every possible version of your health, identity, and cellular behavior already exists, not just as theory, but as encoded energetic reality. So the real question becomes, which frequency are you tuned into? When you look at the body through the lens of classical physics, you see a system that reacts to cause and effect, matter pushing against matter. But in the quantum model, influence happens without contact. Energy influences energy. Patterns influence patterns. This is where the field becomes crucial to healing. Let's begin with coherence. In physics, coherence refers to the synchronized alignment of wave patterns. When two systems are coherent, they resonate, they enhance each other's signal instead of canceling it out. The human body seeks coherence. It's constantly adjusting to maintain equilibrium within your organs, your thoughts, and your energetic surroundings. When you bring your own system into a coherent state, through breath, intention, and emotion, you enter resonance with the larger field. And within that resonance, healing becomes more accessible. Next is entrainment. This principle describes how a weaker frequency can sync up with a stronger, more coherent one. For example, when you tune your own vibration to one of calm, trust, and love, your cells entrain to that stronger signal. Over time, that alignment becomes the new baseline. This means your biology doesn't only respond to what happens inside the body. It responds to what you're connected to, and that's where the zero-point field becomes vital. At its core, the zero-point field is a sea of pure potential fields of fluctuating energy that exist even in what we perceive as empty space. It is the foundational level of reality. There is no true vacuum. There is always energy, always vibration, always possibility. Within that sea, your intentions act like tuning forks. They send signals into the field and interact with the infinite patterns available. The clearer your signal, your mental, emotional, and energetic state, the more precisely the field responds. This is not imagination. It's supported by quantum electrodynamics, field theory, and studies on consciousness and energy healing. Experiments in non-local healing, for example, show that coherent intention from one person can measurably affect the biology of another, even at a distance. So how does this apply to you? When you focus your awareness on a healing outcome and maintain a coherent emotional state, you broadcast that pattern into the field. Over time, that broadcast alters the information your body receives and processes. Your cells begin to respond not just to chemical signals, but to the energetic blueprint being offered. Let's be clear. This is not positive thinking. It's not wishful fantasy. It's a direct application of energy physics. The field is not mystical, it's fundamental. And it doesn't judge your input. It mirrors it. This means that healing doesn't require force. It requires alignment. Alignment with what? With truth. With coherence. With the vibrational signature of wellness, clarity, and trust. Let's look at scalar energy, another aspect of the field that operates beyond the limits of traditional electromagnetism. Scalar waves don't diminish over distance. They carry information in a more stable, holographic way. Healing technologies that use scalar energy often report deeper, more lasting effects, not because they overpower the body, but because they remind it of its original blueprint. And that's the key. The field holds your blueprint, not just your genetic code, but your vibrational essence. The template of your optimal health, your original frequency, your most balanced expression. When illness arises, it often means that your system has lost resonance with that template. The signal has been interrupted by trauma, stress, or sustained incoherence. But that doesn't mean the blueprint is gone. It's still held in the field, waiting to be reaccessed. This is why practices like meditation, energy healing, and focused intention have such profound effects. They don't impose healing. They reestablish resonance. They reconnect you with the field of all possibilities. And from that connection, spontaneous shifts can occur. This is also where quantum biofeedback plays a role. By measuring subtle frequencies and adjusting them, these systems help the body recalibrate to its natural state. It's not invasive. It's not about adding something foreign. It's about reminding the body what alignment feels like. Healing, in this context, is less about fighting illness and more about restoring signal clarity. When the noise is removed, when the system is quiet, the field speaks. And what it offers is not just healing, it's wholeness. So the next time you close your eyes and tune into your body, know this: you are not just tuning into cells or sensations. You're accessing a multidimensional field that holds every version of you. You're not separate from the solution. You are immersed in it. The key is clarity. The doorway is coherence. And the field is always listening. Next, you'll discover how your thoughts, when used with precision, can act as medicine. You'll learn how to program your cells with intention and how to shift from automatic patterns into conscious creation. Every moment, your body is running a biological program. Cells divide, enzymes activate, hormones release, all based on coded instructions. But the most overlooked programmer in this system isn't genetics, diet, or even environment. It's thought. Thoughts are not abstract. They are measurable electrical impulses, generating real electromagnetic fields. Each thought is a frequency, a broadcast that interacts directly with your nervous system, your cells, and the surrounding energy field. This means your body is not just reacting to what you eat, how you move, or what you're exposed to physically. It's responding continuously to how you think. Not occasionally. Not only when you're meditating. Always. That internal dialogue, the story running beneath the surface, writes instructions into your biology. And that's where intentional medicine begins. Recognizing that your thoughts are not passive experiences. They're active codes, signals, directives to your body's systems. To understand how this works, we need to look at the mechanics of influence. Let's start with neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself in response to repeated thought, focus, and behavior. What fires together, wires together. When you repeatedly think, "I'm getting weaker," or "my body can't handle this," you're not just expressing emotion, you're hardwiring limitation into your system. But when you start to say, "I trust my body's intelligence," or "healing is happening now," and do so with emotion, you begin rewiring that program. You initiate new networks. You strengthen new biological pathways. But the effect doesn't stop at the brain. Epigenetic research shows that beliefs, sustained over time, can influence which genes are turned on or off. Your thoughts, amplified by emotion, become biological switches. This is how thoughts program cells. It's not wishful thinking. It's biology responding to consciousness. Now let's move into the process of doing this with precision. The first step is clarity. The body responds to clear, coherent signals. Vague desires like, "I just want to feel better," produce vague effects. Specific intentions, "My immune system is strong and balanced. My joints are pain-free and flexible. Every cell in my liver is restoring its integrity," provide detailed instructions. Speak the language of biology with specificity. Next is focus. Your attention is energy. Where you place it, energy flows. Sustained focus on a healing vision begins to inform your body that this state is not only possible, it's real. To the subconscious mind, repetition equals reality. The more often you focus on a desired state, the more familiar it becomes. The more familiar it becomes, the more likely the body is to respond as if it's already happening. But focus alone is not enough. You must add emotion. Emotion is the amplifier. Thoughts may open the door, but emotion charges the signal. When you pair a healing intention with genuine gratitude, love, or joy, you generate electromagnetic waves that pulse through your entire system. This creates coherence between the heart and brain, a physiological state that enhances healing, immunity, and cellular regeneration. It's not about faking emotion. It's about finding the real feeling that matches your desired outcome. If you're seeking vitality, feel vitality. If you're seeking peace, feel peace. This is where visualization becomes powerful. Visualization isn't just seeing an image. It's experiencing a new state as if it were already real. When you mentally rehearse wellness, seeing, hearing, and feeling your body fully healed, you're activating the same neural networks as the actual experience. The body begins to respond to the visualization as if it were fact. This has been shown in countless studies. Athletes improve performance through mental rehearsal. Patients reduce pain with guided imagery. The body doesn't wait for the external event. It reacts to the internal signal. So the practice becomes this: program your body daily through intentional thought, coherent focus, and amplified emotion. Repeat it, live it, feel it. Over time, those signals become your new baseline. They replace the old stories, the old fears, the old codes. Let's also acknowledge intention setting as an energetic act. When you set an intention and release it with conviction, you're sending a signal into the quantum field. That signal begins interacting with the field's possibilities. The more coherent your intention, the more clearly the field responds. This is why scattered thoughts, emotional chaos, or habitual fear can cloud the signal. They introduce noise. They distort the instruction. But with daily practice, you can refine it. One of the most effective ways to do this is through affirmations encoded with energy, statements you repeat, not just with words, but with conviction. For example, "My body is a self-healing intelligence. Every cell is restoring harmony now. I align with the frequency of health and balance." Say these slowly. Say them while feeling them. Say them until your body starts to shift. You'll know the difference. You'll feel when a statement is mechanical and when it lands as truth. This is intentional medicine in its raw form. Thought, emotion, and energy acting as signals that shape biology. Let's be clear. This doesn't mean abandoning medical support. It means adding the missing link. No matter what path of healing you're on, your thoughts are always part of the equation. They either reinforce what's working or they resist it. The choice is yours. Use thought as a precision tool. Let your inner language become clear, focused, emotionally charged, and biologically intelligent. Because every thought you think is a message. Every message is a frequency, and every frequency has the power to become form. Next, we'll enter the most powerful center of healing in your entire body. Not your brain, not your immune system, but your heart. The true electromagnetic engine of the human system. It's easy to think of the heart as just a pump, a mechanical organ that circulates blood through the body. But that definition couldn't be further from the truth. Your heart is not just a physical structure. It's the most powerful electromagnetic source in your entire body. This field extends several feet beyond your skin. It influences every cell, and it plays a far more critical role in healing than most people realize. In fact, when it comes to creating coherence in your body, harmony among your systems, alignment with optimal health, the heart leads. Not the brain, not the gut, the heart. Let's start with the science. The heart emits an electromagnetic field that is over 50 times stronger than that of the brain in amplitude, and it's measurable with sensitive equipment. That field isn't random, carries information, and that information changes dramatically depending on your emotional state. When you're angry, fearful, or anxious, the rhythm of your heart becomes erratic. The electromagnetic signal it sends to the brain becomes disordered. This incoherence disrupts neural communication, hormonal balance, immune function, and more. But when you feel appreciation, compassion, or love, your heart rhythm becomes smooth, ordered, and coherent. This creates a state of physiological harmony. Your brain synchronizes, your nervous system relaxes, your immune system strengthens, your body begins to heal. This is not poetic. It's electrical, and it changes everything. The HeartMath Institute has studied this for decades. Their research shows that emotions directly shape the rhythms of the heart, which in turn influence brainwave patterns, cognitive function, and even gene expression. In other words, your emotional state is not just a psychological experience. It's a frequency that writes code into your biology. When the heart and brain are in sync, you enter a state known as heart-brain coherence. In this state, communication between the two is smooth and efficient. Healing is optimized, energy is conserved, and decision-making becomes clearer. This state is not automatic, but it can be created through intentional emotional focus. Here's how. The first step is to slow your breathing. Breathe gently through the heart area. Inhale for 5 seconds, exhale for 5 seconds. This alone begins to regulate your nervous system. Then, activate a regenerative emotion. Choose one. Gratitude, love, care, appreciation. Bring it into your awareness. Don't just think about it. Feel it. Visualize a moment that brought you deep joy. Hold it in your mind. Let that emotion rise in your chest. This combination of rhythmic breathing and focused emotion brings your system into coherence. The electromagnetic field around your heart becomes ordered. That field communicates with your brain, your organs, and even with the space around you. You are literally shifting your frequency. Now, here's where the quantum connection comes in. The coherent field of the heart doesn't stop at your body. It interacts with the quantum field, that sea of all possibilities we explored earlier. Your emotional frequency becomes your broadcast. It sends a signal into the field, one that can influence outcomes, attract experiences, and initiate healing. But there's a requirement. The emotion must be real. The field does not respond to empty words or hollow affirmations. It responds to felt frequency. This is why emotion matters more than intellect in this domain. You can say, "I'm healthy," 1,000 times, but if you feel fear underneath it, the field responds to the fear. But if you feel peace, if you truly generate the vibration of wholeness, the field mirrors that. Your body begins to align. Your biology starts to follow. This is the emotional language of healing. Let's look at some specific emotional frequencies. Gratitude signals abundance. It tells the body that it already has what it needs. This eliminates stress chemistry and opens the flow of healing resources. Compassion soothes inflammation. It releases oxytocin, which enhances immune defense and cardiovascular repair. Forgiveness clears emotional residue. It dissolves unresolved energetic patterns that can lock the body in a state of tension or disrepair. Joy expands the field. It brings lightness, oxygenation, and a vibrational clarity that spreads through tissues like a ripple. These are not just pleasant emotions. They are healing frequencies, and your heart is the transmitter. Let's also acknowledge that many people struggle to feel these emotions at will, especially in the middle of pain or chronic illness. That's okay. The key is not perfection, it's practice. Even 2 minutes of heartfelt emotion can change your biochemistry for hours. The heart doesn't require you to fake it. It responds to sincerity. Start where you are. Feel one genuine moment of relief, or appreciation, or calm. Let it expand. As it expands, your body begins receiving a new signal. That signal interrupts old patterns. It reorganizes. It restores. And over time, your system begins to expect that coherence. It begins to rebuild itself based on the new rhythm. The heart becomes the conductor of your healing orchestra, not by controlling, but by harmonizing. This is not a metaphorical tool. It's one of the most powerful healing practices available. You are not just a mind trying to fix a body. You are a coherent field, learning to sync with the frequency of well-being. And the heart is the key. Next, we'll explore a radical idea that your body is a hologram, that every part contains the whole, and that healing even a small part can ripple through your entire system. Your body holds more than organs, systems, and cells. It holds a blueprint, a pattern that reflects not just your physical structure, but your entire consciousness. And that pattern may not be linear, local, or even physical in the way we typically understand it. In fact, the deeper you go, the more you discover that your body functions like a hologram. A hologram is a three-dimensional image made from light and interference patterns. What makes it unique is this. If you cut a holographic plate into pieces, each piece still contains the whole image. Not a fraction of it, the whole. Your body operates on a similar principle. Every cell in your body contains not only its local function, but also information about the entire organism. This is not poetic language, it's biology. Cellular biologists have shown that a single cell from your body contains the complete DNA sequence needed to recreate the entire organism. But beyond DNA, there's another layer of intelligence, a field of resonance that behaves holographically. This is why healing is often not a linear, mechanical process, because your body isn't simply a sum of isolated parts. It's a unified field of awareness, where each part reflects the whole. And that has extraordinary implications for healing. Let's start with cellular memory. Cells don't just carry out instructions. They store experience energetically and physically. Trauma, emotion, and memory imprint not only on the brain, but in tissues throughout the body. People often feel pain or tension in areas long after an event has passed. It's not random. It's memory stored in the field. But the inverse is also true. When you bring healing energy to one area, when you release tension, shift belief, or bring coherent focus to a specific point, it can ripple through the entire body. Why? Because the pattern is shared. You're not just healing tissue. You're restoring the resonance of the whole system. This is why acupuncture, reflexology, and energy medicine techniques can affect areas of the body far from the point of contact. Pressing a specific point on the foot can influence the liver. Stimulating a point on the ear can calm the nervous system. These are not coincidences. They are interactions within a holographic system. Even more compelling is the way quantum physics supports this. Through quantum entanglement, we know that particles once connected can influence each other instantaneously, regardless of distance. This non-locality shows us that at a fundamental level, space is not a barrier. Information transfer doesn't require physical proximity. Apply this to your body. Every part of you is entangled with every other part. When one area heals, the whole field shifts. This is why focused healing practices, even on a single aspect of your life, can transform your entire experience. Working with breath, forgiving a wound, changing a thought pattern, releasing tension in a single muscle. Each act sends new information through the entire system. Now let's connect this to the energetic body. Your meridians, chakras, and auric layers are not separate systems. They are aspects of a single unified pattern. When a blockage occurs in one area, say the throat chakra, it doesn't just affect your voice. It can manifest in the immune system, thyroid function, or even creative expression. Because in a holographic system, local disruption creates global distortion. But the good news is this: local harmony creates global healing. This is why microhealing practices are so effective. One breath of conscious awareness, one sincere act of gratitude, one release of resentment. These small actions send coherent signals through your entire holographic field. The body registers that signal. The system realigns. It doesn't require full understanding. It doesn't require force. It requires resonance. When one part begins to resonate with health, it invites the rest of the system to match it. This is also why people often experience unexpected improvements while working on seemingly unrelated parts of their lives. They start a forgiveness practice and notice reduced inflammation. They resolve a deep emotional wound and find their digestion improves. They begin expressing creativity, and their chronic pain subsides. In a holographic body, everything is connected. This also explains the potency of remote healing. When intention is directed toward someone, even at a distance, the energetic patterns they hold can be influenced. The field carries that information, non-locally, instantly, without the limits of time or space. That's not magic. That's physics. And in the same way, your own body listens to every message you send it, whether it's spoken, visualized, or felt. That message doesn't stay localized. It echoes through your field. This is also why self-talk matters. When you criticize your body, your joints, your appearance, your limitations, you're not just targeting a part. You're affecting the whole, because the whole field hears it. But when you speak with reverence, when you direct love to even the parts that are struggling, the entire system receives that healing signal. And here's something even deeper. The holographic nature of your body means that not only are your parts connected, your body is connected to the larger whole. The collective field, the earth, the greater web of consciousness. You are not isolated. Your healing contributes to the coherence of the whole. And the coherence of the whole supports your healing. That's the power of alignment. So the next time you work with your body, remember this: you're not just adjusting a joint. You're not just calming a nerve. You're not just easing a symptom. You're realigning a system that mirrors the entire intelligence of life itself. Each cell is a fractal of the whole. And when one fractal heals, the pattern begins to reassemble. Coming up, we'll go even further into possibility, exploring how to shift timelines, align with the version of you that is already healed, and consciously access the quantum reality where wellness already exists. Sage, you've heard the phrase, anything is possible, before, but in the quantum world, it's more than motivational language. It's physics. Quantum theory tells us that every possibility already exists. Not just theoretically, but actually. Every choice, every outcome, every version of reality is encoded as a potential state. They're all available simultaneously as probabilities. That includes versions of you. There are versions of you that are sick, tired, struggling. And there are versions of you that are vibrant, healed, and completely aligned. In this model, the life you're living isn't the only one that exists. It's just the one your consciousness is currently tuned into. The version of you that's already healed isn't imaginary. It's not a future fantasy. It's a real energetic timeline already active in the field. The only question is, can you align with it? This is where the concept of parallel realities becomes more than science fiction. It becomes an active healing practice. Here's how it works. In quantum mechanics, a system doesn't exist in a single state until it's observed. Until that moment, it exists in a superposition, multiple states at once. But when an observation is made, the wave collapses into one defined outcome. Your health, your identity, your body, all exist in this field of possibilities. But your observation, your focus, emotion, belief is what collapses the wave. You don't just see your reality. You select it. So when you constantly focus on illness, on limitation, on pain, you reinforce the timeline where that version of you dominates. Not because you deserve it, not because you're doing something wrong, but because your attention acts as the selector. This isn't blame. It's power. It means you're not stuck. You're not trapped in your current health story. You can tune your consciousness deliberately to the version of you that's already healed. This process is known as timeline shifting. It's not magic. It's alignment. Here's what it involves. First, awareness of identity. You must become aware of the version of yourself you've been identifying with. Do you speak like someone who's broken? Do you think like someone who expects to stay in pain? Do you feel like someone who's given up? That identity is a frequency. It locks you into a specific timeline. To shift, you must begin identifying with the version of you that is already aligned with health. Speak like that version. Think like that version. Feel like that version. Not in pretense, but in energetic resonance. Second, emotional activation. You cannot think your way into a new reality without feeling it. You must create emotional coherence with the version of yourself you wish to align with. This is not performance. It's embodiment. Feel what it's like to move freely, to breathe fully, to be calm, confident, and strong. When those emotions are sustained, your energetic field begins to broadcast a new frequency, and your biology starts matching that broadcast. Third, quantum journaling. This is one of the most direct ways to access and stabilize a new timeline. Write from the perspective of the healed version of you. Not about them as them. Describe your day, how you feel, what choices you're making, how your body is responding. Anchor that identity in language and experience. The more vividly you engage this version, the stronger the neural and energetic pathways become. Over time, your subconscious accepts this identity as reality. Fourth, environmental reinforcement. Your external world must begin to reflect the new frequency. Surround yourself with information, people, and environments that match your desired state. Let go of habits that reinforce the old timeline, whether that's negative self-talk, toxic inputs, or emotional loops that keep you in fear. Every choice becomes a vote for the version of you you are becoming. Every thought is a doorway to a different reality. This is not fantasy. It's how consciousness interacts with the quantum field. In fact, quantum jumping, a practice based on this principle, has been used by thousands of people to radically shift emotional states, belief systems, and physical conditions. It involves entering a meditative state, mentally meeting the version of yourself you want to align with, and then jumping into their reality by merging with their frequency. Again, it's not mystical. It's vibrational entrainment. And here's what matters most. The shift doesn't come from wanting. It comes from being. Wishing, hoping, and yearning signal separation. Being signals alignment. So when you think about the version of you that's healed, don't place it in the future. Bring it into the now. Let it inform your choices, your voice, your posture, your energy. Let it become your current reality, not your goal. That's how you shift timelines. Not by chasing, not by forcing, but by selecting and stabilizing. Because every possible version of you is already real. And the one that's healed, the one that feels ease, flow, and wholeness, that version is simply a frequency away. Next, we'll ground these concepts in consistent daily practices. How to stabilize your new state, create energetic momentum, and maintain coherence so your biology can fully catch up. Understanding the principles of quantum healing is powerful. But knowledge without application changes nothing. To truly activate the body's innate healing intelligence, you must bring coherence into your daily rhythm. Not once in a while. Not when you're in crisis. Every day. Healing is not just an event. It's a frequency you return to again and again. Think of your body like an instrument. Without regular tuning, it drifts off-key. With consistent attention, it stays in harmony. This is the art of ritual, intentional, repeatable actions that send clear instructions to your field. This part of the journey is about anchoring everything you've learned into real practice, so the extraordinary becomes normal and the quantum becomes practical. Let's begin with the foundation, morning coherence. What you do within the first 30 minutes of waking sets your energetic baseline for the day. During this time, your brain is in a more malleable state between alpha and theta waves. Your subconscious is more receptive. This is the ideal window for programming. Start with 3 minutes of conscious breathing. Inhale slowly through your nose for 5 counts. Exhale for 5. As you breathe, focus your attention on the heart area. Begin to generate a genuine emotion: gratitude, appreciation, calm. This isn't just mood setting, it's frequency setting. This practice immediately shifts your heart rate variability, calms your nervous system, and places you in heart-brain coherence. Your field becomes ordered. Your cells begin their day under the guidance of harmony. Next, move into intentional visualization. But don't visualize as an outsider looking in. Step into the version of yourself you're aligning with. See through their eyes. Feel through their body. What are you doing? How does your body feel? What thoughts are running through your mind? What emotions are present? Keep the scene specific, detailed, and emotionally alive. 2 to 3 minutes of this, repeated daily, reprograms your subconscious identity and begins stabilizing that version of reality. Then use spoken affirmations, not as empty phrases, but as energetic commands. Speak them slowly with feeling. Let them resonate in your body. My body is intelligent and healing in perfect rhythm. I generate coherence and stability with every breath. I am tuned to the frequency of wholeness. These are not just motivational statements. They're vibrational codes. Spoken regularly, they align your conscious and unconscious systems. Now let's talk about movement. Movement isn't just physical. It's energetic. Whether it's walking, yoga, stretching, or qigong, movement activates your energy field and keeps signals flowing. Even 5 minutes of intentional movement each morning can create a state of energetic fluidity that carries through your day. Throughout the day, practice conscious emotional hygiene. You brush your teeth. You wash your hands. But how often do you clear your emotional field? Unchecked emotions like resentment, fear, or anxiety become energetic distortions. They create interference in your coherence. You don't have to suppress these emotions, but you must acknowledge and move them. Use breath. Use sound. Use writing. Say what needs to be said. Cry if needed. Shake your body. These are not distractions. They are clearings. Let emotions move so your energy can. Next is conscious nutrition. The food you eat carries frequency. It's not just fuel. It's information. Eat slowly. Eat with awareness. Bless your food. These simple acts shift your digestive system into parasympathetic mode, where healing happens. The way you eat matters as much as what you eat. Now let's talk about evening reset. How you close the day is just as important as how you begin it. Before bed, disconnect from disruptive inputs, news, screens, stress. Take 5 to 10 minutes to enter a healing state. This could be a body scan, could be heart-focused breathing. It could be listening to calming frequencies or silently repeating a mantra. Let your nervous system recalibrate. Send a clear message to your body. It is safe to rest. It is safe to heal. Sleep is not downtime. It's recalibration time. And your last thoughts before sleep often echo through your subconscious all night. Close your eyes. Feel into your body. Say something like, "Thank you for everything you've done today. I release what I don't need to carry. I trust the intelligence working within me now." You don't need perfection. You need presence. Healing happens through consistency, not intensity. A few minutes of coherence practice daily is more powerful than an hour of effort once a week. You're not trying to force results. You're creating stability, because frequency creates form. Repetition creates rhythm. And rhythm is what your biology understands. This is not a to-do list. It's a tuning ritual. Morning coherence, midday awareness, emotional clarity, energetic nourishment, evening reset. This rhythm sends a clear message to your body every single day. We are in harmony. We are safe. We are healing. And when your body receives that message often enough, it stops preparing for survival and starts building for renewal. You are not trying to reach a healed version of yourself in the future. You are training your body to recognize that version now. Let these rituals become part of who you are, not just what you do. Because when quantum alignment becomes your lifestyle, healing becomes inevitable. Coming up next, we close with the most important realization of all. You are not just the recipient of healing, you are the healer. The field is not something you visit. to something you are. There's a moment in every healing journey when something shifts. It's no longer about fixing what's broken. It's no longer about chasing a solution. It becomes something else. Something deeper. You realize that healing isn't something that happens to you. It's something that awakens through you. This is the turning point, not just in your biology but in your identity. Because you are not just a person with a body. You are a field of consciousness, intelligent, creative, responsive. And the most powerful healing tool you will ever access is your awareness. You've learned how thought shapes biology, how emotion sets frequency, how intention programs the field, how coherence organizes energy, how timelines can be shifted, and how ritual creates rhythm. But now you must claim the role that unifies all of it. You are the healer, not a passive recipient of instructions, not a subject of fate, not someone waiting for change. You are the conscious architect of your own biology. Every signal you send through thought, emotion, choice is an act of quantum medicine. And this doesn't make you superhuman. It makes you fully human. Let's step back and see the whole picture. Your body is energy, vibrating, intelligent, ever responsive. Your mind is a transmitter broadcasting signals into the field every moment. Your heart is the compass, tuning those signals with emotional charge. The quantum field is the medium, holding infinite versions of your reality, waiting for direction. And your role is simple: tune the signal. That tuning is not something you do once. It's who you become. It's not about trying to control every variable or suppress every symptom. It's about creating such strong internal coherence that your external world, including your health, has no choice but to follow. When you consistently align with clarity, peace, and trust. When you begin to see yourself not as broken but as energy in motion. When you choose to respond with presence rather than fear. The entire system starts to self-correct. You return to the original blueprint. You reconnect with the intelligence that has been running your biology since the beginning, long before any diagnosis, label, or condition. This isn't about rejecting science. It's about expanding it. You integrate the best of what medicine offers, while activating the part that medicine alone cannot reach, your consciousness. This is the next evolution of healing. It's not in a pill. It's not in a machine. It's in you. And when you fully accept this role, when you stop waiting and start generating, you don't just shift your health. You shift your identity. You go from patient to practitioner of your own field. You go from seeker to source. You go from reacting to reality, to creating it, and what you create ripples out far beyond your own body. Because healing is never isolated. Every time you bring coherence to your own system, you feed coherence into the collective field. Every act of compassion you show yourself resonates into the world around you. Every timeline you shift becomes part of the larger network of possibility. You're not just healing your own body. You're participating in the healing of the whole. This is your legacy, not in the sense of achievement, but in presence. The presence you offer to each moment, to your own breath, to your inner signals, becomes a form of medicine that no one else can deliver. Your life becomes the lab. Your body becomes the canvas. Your awareness becomes the brush. And what you create through that awareness doesn't just change outcomes. It changes the story of what healing truly is. You've now walked through the quantum landscape of self-healing, from the subatomic to the energetic, from intention to embodiment. Now it's time to live it, because healing doesn't start when conditions are perfect. It starts the moment you decide to remember who you really are, a living field of intelligence, a conscious creator of biology, a sovereign healer, already connected to the infinite. Thank you for being here, for listening, for expanding, for remembering. This is not the end of your healing journey. This is the beginning of your mastery, because the field is within you, and the power to tune it has always been yours.